Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to the UFD franchise. Hello, Voodoo.
Hello, Cameron.
And we are here in the playoffs. Obviously, Renegades here representing the UFD this time around. But before we do anything with the playoffs, let's look at the team rankings for stats. We went over the player stats last time. We'll look at the team stats here. I'll start with the offense here. I'll show you guys on Madden, but we also Voodoo is a very good boy, and he has a his whole thing set up.
Yeah, shut your bitch ass up.
Yeah. So, just looking at offenses here for the UFD. So, the best offense was the Renegades, but not by a ton. They only had 130 more yards than the Battlehawks, and then the Kings slightly further down, and then the Stallions took a big drop down to the fourth spot there. None of the offense. That's just I guess total offense or just regular offensive yards. Total offensive yards, not total yards gained. That is a little different. Because with that we do see the. I mean, it's not really different, to be honest. It's not that different, but in the grand scheme of things, really not like any top offenses in this division. The Renegades were middle of the pack, in 15th and 16th place for the total yards and total offensive yards gained. We saw the Battlehawks at 20th in both of those, the Kings at 28th and 27th, respectively, and then 31st for your Stallions. So I'm assuming the Dolphins were below you, if I had to guess in that regard. At
I
least.
think it was Miami.
That
Pretty sure.
would make sense. They stunk too. But looking at passing yards, it is a little bit different because the Battlehawks had 3,800 on the dot, which was 14th in the league. So pretty solid passing offense. Renegades about 250 lower or so, and then Stallions about 150 lower, and then Kings just below the Stallions. And that saw the Renegades at 23rd, Stallions at 27th, and Kings at 28th. So again, not a lot of great passing offenses this year, but the Battlehawks did have a decent enough passing offense to go. But rushing was a bigger thing here. Renegades, 1832, 7th in the league. Kenneth Walker leading the charge there. And then the Kings had a pretty good rushing offense again at 12th in the league. And then you take a big drop down 300 yards to the Battlehawks in 25th place. And then second to last, once again, Stallions can't crack 1,200.
Yep.
But I mean, obviously you have a bright future with Jordan Brockers. It's just that O-line needs some improving to help that run offense, I believe. Points per game, Battlehawks 20.5 points per game was 22nd in the league. So really not a great scoring division this year either. 20 for the Renegades, 17.3 for the Kings, and 14.7 for Stallions. Notably, the Stallions in last place in points scored.
Yep.
Passing touchdowns, Battlehawks at 27. That was 21st in the league. 21 for the Kings, and then 19 for the Renegades and Stallions, which was looks like a three-way tie for at least for 30th, 31st, and 32nd for, I'm assuming, Miami maybe, and Stallions and Renegades. But yeah, passing offenses with scoring not too great. Rushing touchdowns though, 19 for the Renegades, was 9th in the league, which is why they are a playoff team for sure, offensively. And then a big drop off down to 17th in the league for Battlehawks with 14 touchdowns. So not that big of a difference in reality. And then you go down to 11 for the Kings, and then dead last in 32nd, 5 touchdowns on the ground. And that's 3 for Brockers, 2 for Vidal, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds right.
Not ideal. And then first downs, Kings actually had the most, which was kind of crazy, and they were 10th in the league, which is surprising considering how bad they were otherwise, for the most part. Battlehawks 1 first down ahead of the Renegades, and then Stallions not too far behind, but still in dead last. It's very interesting that the Kings had so many first downs. It's just they couldn't, I guess, get the job done on those drives. And then looking at the giveaways offensively, you see Stallions had 18, which was second to last, again 31st in the league. 12 for the Battlehawks and Kings, and then 11 for the Renegades, which all kind of range in that middle of the pack area. So definitely noteworthy there. And I will say, definitely not where I think the strengths of any of the teams were for the most part. Like you see, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, the rushing offenses for the Renegades and the Kings were solid, for sure.
Yeah.
They were good, but the passing offenses weren't that impressive across the board, and not a lot of success overall in the offensive side of things. But how about the defensive side of things, Voodoo?
Yeah, just to quickly cap off the offensive side, I feel like this division took a big smash mouth approach to grinding down games and utilizing running backs pretty heavily. But to the defensive side, they kept that smash mouth identity with the Battlehawks leading the fourth best defense in yards allowed, just total yards allowed, with 5,083. The Kings are at 11th in this category with 5,198, which has them at 11th. The Renegades are all the way down at 28th with 5,900. It's almost 700 more than the Renegades gave up, but that's not as bad as the 400 more that the Stallions gave up with 6,300 total yards of offense. Yeah, it was very interesting. But the Battlehawks defense was great for them all year, yardage wise, and that continues with passing yards allowed. There was 3,425 for them, making them the third best passing defense in the league. The Kings had the 10th best passing defense in the league with 3,598, not too far behind the Battlehawks there, but it was a small margin for error for these placements. Then an immense drop off to the 31st worst passing defense in the league, which the Renegades can crown themselves with 4,344 passing yards allowed, but that is still not as bad as the Birmingham Stallions with 4,500, making them the worst passing defense in the league. Yeah. Moving on to rushing yards allowed.
It's a lot of last place.
This is where the Renegades, we noted the Renegades defense was actually pretty good this year, and this is a good this is where their stats kind of start to show that 13th best rushing defense league, not amazing, but slightly above average for the league, and then 18th for the Kings with 1,600, only 50 yards given up more, but again the margin is rather slim. The Battlehawks with 1,658 given up on the ground, 22nd most, and of course the Stallions are not dead last here. They are the 28th worst rushing defense with nearly 1,800 rushing yards allowed. Moving on to points allowed, actually every 3 of the 4 teams in this division were top 10 in this category. Battlehawks were number 1. This was the best point defense in the National Football League, which is astonishing considering how their season ended.
Absolutely.
And it's a pretty wide margin. I mean, the next at 6 here with the Kings, that's almost 40 more points that the Kings gave up here at 6 here with 339, and literally 1 point behind them, the Renegades with 340. But of course, the Stallions are they really, really bad football team, 484 given up this season. So not great, 31st in the league in that one. Moving on to sacks. Again, pretty good spot here for this division. The best team sacking the quarterback was the Dallas Renegades. Your Dallas Renegades, 74 sacks this season. Very just dominant.
Considering the stats when we looked at the player stats, so it was like Damn, Nick Scorton, Brian Brzee, Ruko Rororo, Eric Wright.
And
They
that's why
crazy.
I was. We were talking about players of the year. I had to give it to the edge. I mean, it was hard to give it. Of course, it was spread out, but
Yeah.
the sack production was incredible. It was off the charts. And at fifth, of course, the Battlehawks at 52, which is still pretty friggin' good. And that also adds to that defense being really good for the Battlehawks. Makes you wonder what the problem is there in St. Louis.
Hmm.
Um, and at 18th with 43, the Kings, not amazing, but they're not the worst. Right around middle of the pack there. And at 25th, the Stallions with 6 less sacks. Pretty close, but ultimately, yeah, the Stallions just weren't a good defense. Surprise, surprise. Fumbles recovered, not a huge stat, but I just thought it was interesting. The Renegades forced 7 fumbles, which is the 9th in the league. The Kings forced 6 fumbles, which is 13th in the league. The Battlehawks forced 4 fumbles, which is 23rd in the league. And of course, your Birmingham Stallions forced 2 fumbles, which is 28th in the league. And lastly, interceptions. The Renegades were amazing here as well. 13 interceptions this season, 3rd in the league, followed by the Kings putting up 10 interceptions, which was 16th in the league. Pretty big drop off here for a 3 interception difference. And the Stallions were actually only 22nd in this category. They had 9 interceptions, none of them from Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, which really made me upset.
Tragic.
And lastly, the Battlehawks only 7 interceptions, 28th in the league. So yeah, I think that very much tells the tale of this division being driven by defensive performances, much more so than offensive performances. Very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I will say like this reminds me a lot as a Steelers fan. In the past probably 8 years now or so. This is kind of how this is just how Steelers football is, where the defense really turnover heavy, really the sack production is necessary. They're going to give up a lot in the pass game at times, and then they can't really throw the football too much, but you're going to get some good run game usually, good enough. And that's kind of what this division feels like as a whole for the most part. Other than the Battlehawks, who just suck somehow. They're just terrible, pretty much at everything. Which I'm excited to see how
You
you.
mean the Stallions, not the Battlehawks.
Well, yeah, that's
Um,
sorry, dude. The STL man, it's always struggling. But
Berm.
yes,
Think of Berm, Birmingham.
The Birmingham Battlehawks, the Birmingham Stallions.
No.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're gonna have a lot of improvements to make, but I think there's a lot of opportunity too in this offseason coming up. But one thing I did forget about that we didn't do is we didn't talk about the stats as a whole in the NFL, just like the leaders and stuff. So let's quickly just look
Yeah,
through
we
that.
should definitely. Let's do that.
So, surprise, surprise, because Joe Burrow was hurt for part of the year. He is nowhere to be found. So Josh Allen led with almost 4,700 yards.
Incredible season.
Yeah, probably MVP,
Wow.
48 touchdowns to 2 picks, 69 completion percentage. Yeah, he was on fire. Led the team plus 10 touchdowns over anyone else. Had the least picks. Bryce Young had the most picks thrown. Um, Best completion percentage for a starter was indeed Josh Allen, but also Jalen Hurts in there. Um, Least sacks starting quarterback. I guess technically Tua for he started the most for the Dolphins. Missed 4 games, so only sacked 14 times is actually really impressive for that Dolphins O line considering how bad they were. Um, Most sacked quarterback was Bryce Kilgore, the rookie for the Steelers. That's unfortunate, but that happens a lot for rookie quarterbacks. Rushing, Bijan leads the league by 5 yards over Saquon, almost 1,600. Does have the highest yards per carry with 5.9 as a starter. Led touchdown leader was Saquon Barkley with 19. DeAndre Swift gave up the most, coughed up the most fumbles. There was 6. Most broken tackles went to Bijan. I mean, yeah, Bijan has been absolutely insane for the Seahawks. Receiving, Khalil Shakir leads with receptions with 104.
Wow.
He also leads in yards with 1,477. And then he also is tied for first in touchdowns along with Josh Downs, Jeremy Bernard, and Carnell Tate. So great year from Khalil Shakir. Big reason why Josh Allen had such a great year too. And Looking at blocking, the worst lineman was Deion Dawkins, who he's definitely regressed. So we'll see how he does. He's a free agent, maybe gonna retire. We'll see what he decides to do there. Leader in tackles was Barrett Carter for the Bengals, 165. Most TFLs goes to Michael Williams for the Niners. Most sacks was TJ Watt, but I believe, never mind. I thought Scorton had 18.5. No, he had 16.5. But yeah, TJ Watt back up top there at 18.5.
Oh, Ben Burke. Incredible rookie season.
Yeah, Ben Burke is insane. The rookie, he was a great draft pick, and yeah, he was great for the Chiefs. Big reason why they are in the playoffs. Pick leader was Henry To'oTo'o with 6. Most deflections goes to Ernest Jones, the 4th for Seattle with 15. Most fumbles forced was Drew Tranquill for the Raiders, and then a bunch of guys with 4, maybe. Probably not actually 4, because Madden has some weird glitch where it adds an additional recovery for some reason. And, a bunch of blocks and safeties, and Chamari Connor with 2 touchdowns. So that's fun. But yeah, very interesting year. I'm obviously sucks to see Burrow get hurt, but it's nice to see somebody else at the top of the leaderboard in passing, because we always see the Bengals quarterback up there, regardless of who it is in our leagues. So, but yeah, just wanted to look at that because I forgot about it. You forgot about it.
And do you want to do special teams? We can check
no. For what?
Well, okay, hold on. Charlie Smith had the second best field goal percentage. Come on,
I know
now.
he did because he's a goat, man.
He is the goat.
Fine, we'll look at kicking. So yeah, most field goals attempted was Will Reichard. He also made the most. He's a potential free agent this year, I believe. Jason Myers and Charlie Smith and Tyler Bass tied with 92% completion. Longest field goal was a bunch of guys for 57. A lot of field goal blocks this year. Most extra points made were from Jake Elliott, who also had the most attempts. A bunch of guys with 100 there. So also a lot of field goal blocks. Best kicker from 50 yards out. Not Chase McLaughlin. He had the most attempts, 17, but he missed 5. I would say probably Cam Little, who only missed 2 from that far out. Punting. The leader in punts was Ryan Wright, my punter. Jordan Stout 1 punt behind. Although Stout had the more yards, which makes sense. He's got a great leg. He had almost 4,000 yards punting. So did Ryan Wright. And Logan Cook had the highest net average. Jordan Stout led with punts inside the 20 by 24.
Oh man,
crazy
what a
year.
Demon.
Couple guys, Ryan Wright, Logan Cook, and Tommy Domain Jr. had 22 touchbacks on punts. Longest punt was a tie between Ethan Evans and Jeremy Crawshaw, which is interesting. And kick returns, just to look at it, we had 1 kick return for Brashard Smith and no punt returns. So there's your special teams. But let's go ahead and jump to our game of the years. So like last time, we had given out our 3 favorite game of the years, best game of the years. So we will go back and forth on those. So Voodoo, do you want to start with your 3rd place?
Yeah, let's start with 3rd place, and I see we do agree on this one.
We do.
But let's get this started. Patriots, Bills. We're going back to week 1. This time it's not my winner. Of course, last year it was that Seattle Niners opener that just absolute fireworks. But this one is also pretty
very strong.
It's just a strong start to the season. I forgot it's in the playoff schedule. I just wanted to look back at it.
Yeah.
This was a game where it was Monday Night Football, and the Patriots come out here with a win in overtime, 37-31. Both quarterbacks were lights out. No picks. 5 touchdowns for May, 4 for Allen. It was just a light show. And it was just a great way to kick off this excellent season of football. Kayshon Boutte with a legacy game, of course, and it was awesome. So that was my 3rd place nomination there, and Yeah, do you want to give why you agreed with that?
Yeah, no, I mean it's hard not to look at this game as the first week of the season between two teams who ended up being tied at the end of the year, both playoff teams, and be like, man, this is the type of football you want to just start the year off right on, especially in prime time, to round
Yeah,
out the
be an exciting playoff rematch for
yeah,
sure as well.
yeah, to round out the the first week. You get this heater between two of the best quarterbacks in the league. Um, yeah, it's just entertaining. Obviously, defense wasn't super active today, or in that game, I should say. But you still got some sacks in there, and they made some plays. But yeah, just an entertaining game to look at. We didn't watch it, but to just see how it worked out. Now we'll go to our number twos. I'll go with mine first, which we do have different ones here. Now this is a little biased, but at the same time, it feels right. Um, I had to pick between two of my games here. Actually, it was between this and my Lions Renegades because I was like, I'm only putting one of mine on, but Texans Renegades. This one was a heater. Also, primetime Thursday night football to start off the week. Two Texas teams going head to head. It was quiet early, but 36 combined points in the fourth quarter. To end in a 29-27 win for the Renegades was just super entertaining to watch. Plus, we watched that fourth quarter. They had the same total
Yeah.
amounts of yards gained there offensively. Um, neither like not like crazy statistics here. Like Kyler was solid. Stroud was solid other than the pick. There's some sacks. The run games were pretty decent. You saw some really big plays though. And there's some really awesome plays that happened in there. The defenses were awesome. There was some really that 2-point conversion that Dax Hill broke up to win the game was so
Oh yeah.
awesome. Such a great way to end the game. Uh, yeah, it's not like it's a slow burn. It starts off just real slow, defensive heavy, and then just kind of just breaks at the seams there in the fourth quarter. Um, so that's why I chose that. But you chose something else.
I did. Yeah, that was a fun game, but I couldn't let my bias overtake me. But I went with the Week 9 matchup here: Chiefs Packers. An inconspicuous matchup at first, but let me find it real quick because I'm blind. It's just this classic Sunday 4 p.m.er here. Chiefs heading into Green Bay, and they were about to be shut out. What is that? It's 24-3 in the fourth quarter. They proceed to put up 28 points, 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. The Packers able to score 10 points and just barely hold off Kansas City as they stormed an insane comeback attempt there. Mahomes threw 2 picks, but he had the 3 touchdowns, and he got involved. I mean, it was just a wild comeback attempt. I was like, I mean, 38 points in one quarter. Like, what is that? What even is that? It's insane. So yeah, nothing crazy statistical to really bring up here. Yeah, no, it was just all around an insane comeback effort by Mahomes and the Chiefs, and the Packers were able to hold on, and a spectacle to behold in Week 9. But lastly, we should close out with the game of the year. Yeah. Final one, the big one. You want me to get this?
Yeah, I mean, we agree on this one, so it's not really too much surprise here.
I mean, we could pull up the scoreboard here. In Week 15, there was a clash between two behemoths at the thrilling time slot of 1 p.m. on Sunday. Rams Giants, and it was incredible. It was simply incredible. The Rams score 28 points in the first half. The Giants are down 28-14. Then, and it literally completely flips, like it's mirrored and flips. So the Giants put up 28 points in the second half, 14 in each quarter, and the Rams put up 7 in each quarter to make up 14 in the second half. It is very nice to look at there. Yeah. They go into overtime. The Rams score a walk-off touchdown in overtime, and it is. I mean, the quarterbacks were off their rocker.
Yeah. Like, yeah, they were.
Both quarterbacks 400 plus yards, 6 touchdowns for Simpson, no picks, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick for Jackson Dart. And I mean, I think that Ty Simpson pick, remember how we reacted to that? That is probably the biggest backfired missed reaction of all time, because this guy is generational in Los Angeles. I mean,
I think it was more just funny that they picked him again in Madden terms. Like, it's not necessarily helpful to have, but we forgot that Stafford retired. So, but yeah,
well,
I mean,
he was
awesome.
I mean, but even like, a rookie doing this is ridiculous. Like, or sorry, a second year player doing this is ridiculous. No matter how you spin it, I mean, like that's just incredible. And the Giants have a good defense. It was insane. I mean, Cardell Tate almost had 200. The receiving stats are crazy. I mean, Cardell Tate almost had 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Josh Downs 151, 3 touchdowns. Malik Nabers 134 and a touchdown. Brenton Strange 100 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Scott was blowing off 79 yards. Like, what was
blowing off?
What was happening?
Excuse me.
He was blowing it off. In the side, I mean, a pick that was likely a huge one. Will Wiggins, the rookie out of Wake Forest, with that one interception. And I mean, yeah, it was just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, over 1,000 points scored, or
what?
1,000 yards. over
how?
Sorry,
how
over 1,000 yards
scored. Over 1,000 points scored.
Man, trust. Over 1,000 yards gained offensively. You had 90 points combined between the two, not over 1,000. Whether that's what the liberals want you to think, but no.
There you go. Oh no.
No, but yeah, I mean, just a crazy game. Kind of reminds you of like that Chiefs Rams game, although that one was like, I'm pretty sure was prime time and was like super crazy to watch, because it was real. Also,
there's also Rams Bills. That was also 48,
that's
42,
true,
I believe.
And also the Rams aren't a playoff team, so it's not as meaningful, I guess. They weren't really as big of a clash, but it was still an insane game where just the offenses were going ham on each other's defenses. But yeah, that is our game of the year picks there. So, moving on, let's go to our playoff predictions. So, to be honest, we really only have to bring up one of our pictures here because we had the exact same thoughts. So I will just pull up mine since I have a crown on mine.
And to be fair, we didn't elaborate on these at all. There was no communication.
No, no, and if anything, Voodoo actually messed it up initially.
I did,
but it's okay.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we can just easily kind of give our thoughts on it all. So we'll just start with the AFC side here. Bills, Chargers. We both think the Bills win. I think we're kind of in agreement that I think the Bills are just a better team. Josh Allen obviously could be the MVP, probably is. I think they are just in a spot where I think this is their window's closing. They have a lot of older players leaving this year. I think this is their window, and they feel it like closing here potentially. And they want to act on it. And I think this is just a much better team than the Chargers are right now. The Chargers are very good too, don't get me wrong, but I think the Bills are just kind of on another level right now.
Yep. I mean, 2 seed, 7 seed. I just can't bet against Buffalo here. I don't think it's a fraudulent 2 seed. I think it's a very decisive 2 seed here that will handle business with LA coming to town, and Buffalo might be some cold weather there for that LA team to handle. Yeah, I think Buffalo takes it.
That's true. And then we had to this was the toughest one I think for both of us to pick in the wild card divisional matchup between the Chiefs and the Raiders. Both pretty good teams. We both agree that the Chiefs are the team here to go forward. They just feel like they're kind of back into their groove. They had a down year last year and the year before as well. Obviously, Mahomes in real life got hurt, but last year they weren't very good. They were one of the bottom teams. They I think had the 6th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that, maybe 5th.
Might have been 5th.
It was between you and you were either right before or after them. I can't remember, but they drafted Ben Burke. They have Jeremiah Love in his 2nd year. they have a healthy Mahomes. They really just got into a groove, and they shot back up right into a conversation of potential Super Bowl contender. The Raiders still have a very good roster. They've made a ton of additions, but I do think the Chiefs have the playoff experience edge, and also they're at home in Arrowhead, which is a really tough stadium to play in. I lean them as well.
Yep. Yeah. Nope. I agree. I agree. And I just the Raiders. I think they're definitely more upset potential here with how the Raiders have kind of rebuilt. That being said, I just think it's going to be the Chiefs getting this one done, but I could definitely buy in more to a Raiders upset. But
Sure.
Next, of course,
Yeah.
get us the Baltimore Patriots
Yeah.
breakdown.
And this one's interesting because obviously this is kind of like a 2010s kind of feel, with the Ravens Patriots matchup here.
Flacco, Brady.
Yeah, but we got Lamar and May. So Lamar is still at the top of his game. May has obviously been really good too. Um, but I think where the Patriots are at, they were tied with the Bills. They could have been the second seed. Um, really, if anything, little thing changed there. If they just won one more game, they would be that second seed. They're 12-5. The Baltimore Ravens are 10-7. I just don't, I'm not a huge fan of the Ravens team as a whole, and they're the 4 seed, so usually that means they're the weakest of the division winners. And I think outside of Lamar, they still don't have great receiving weapons. They lost Zay Flowers last year. Derrick Henry retired. Their O line's fine still, but like they don't have a ton of weapons offensively. Their defense is still good. They got good pieces, but I think the Patriots are just a better team all around, and I can't see them losing, which is gonna come back and bite me in the ass.
I could see them losing. I'm gonna say that I could see it very much so because Lamar and the Ravens, it's still a good football team. They still won 10 games this year, but I do think the Patriots are on a higher trajectory right now. Drake May is at the top of his level there. That team is rebuilt very nicely, and I think, I mean, as you said, Patriots could have been the second seed very easily if one of those games had flipped their way. But yeah, no, I think the Patriots have a very good shot of beating Baltimore, and that's why we agree that they're going to go play Jacksonville. Do you want to just finish out the AFC set?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll do that. So we both agree. Yeah, Jacksonville, in their first game with their bye week there, taking on the 5 seed Patriots. This one's a tough one too, honestly, because I do think that the Patriots could maybe upset the Jags here, but I think obviously the extra week you get that break. The Jags were just in the Super Bowl last year, I believe, right? They were, right? They lost to the God, we literally watched.
We should remember our own Super Bowls, huh?
Yeah, we didn't watch this one. Yeah, they lost to the Vikings by 6, so it was close. Yep. Like they were a Super Bowl contender. They didn't really lose a lot of players, and I feel like the Jags just have a better team right now. I think they had signed J.C. Horn with the initial involvement of the UFD, with J.C. Horn with the NFC South teams completely vanishing and all their players going to free agency. They brought in Jamel Dean as well. They made some really good signings, some good draft picks as well to shore up the line a bit better, because that was their weak spot, right? We talked about it in the Super Bowl against the Browns, but they invested in the O line. Still not amazing, but I do think that the Jags just did a good job at enhancing this team to a further level. But I think this one's close too. This one could go either way.
Yep, I agree. I could very much see New England making a run here. I think this is, it's tough, but I don't know. I think, obviously not a factor in the sim, but just imagine this. You're the Patriots, you go to Baltimore, and then you have to go to Jacksonville. Like it's just a tough to be a road team. And I think Jacksonville's going to be rowdy off a week of rest versus a team that's traveled, of course, twice. And I just think that Jacksonville is a better squad overall. And I think, of course, the quarterback battle goes to May overall. But I like Lawrence quite a bit. I think that the team around him is gonna just do what they need to do, especially that defense. I like that Jags defense quite a bit.
Absolutely.
So I will go with Jacksonville, and I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, and this one's also really tough too. This is a 2020s matchup. Obviously, we've seen this
Classic,
so many
classic.
times. Mahomes versus Allen. I think we both feel like the Bills again kind of. I don't even know necessarily if they're a better team, but I just think that they have more. I think they have more riding on this than the Chiefs do. I feel like they feel like their back is up against the wall to win a Super Bowl now. Um, and I think they are playing at the top of their game right now, especially Allen. Um, and I think that they can get this one done. But I do think the Chiefs absolutely have the squad to win this too. I mean, Mahomes is still awesome. You still have some good defensive pieces for sure. Jeremiah Love, although it looks like he's actually hurt, so that we didn't really look at the injuries or anything. But yeah, I mean, it's still a very good team. So it could go either way, but I do have the Bills.
Yep, yep. No, I think the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are the better team, and it's just difficult. I think something about it. I think the Bills. I know we say this in real life, and it's yet to come to fruition. But in our little Madden verse, we're gonna cope because I think the Bills are just gonna get it done. I think they're gonna just finally put this demon to rest. And playing. It's never easy to play in Buffalo, so
Sure.
they have that going for them. And I feel like they definitely get more of a layup. That first week's more of a layup against the Chargers than the Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to test them.
Mm-hmm.
But so I
Especially
think just
divisional football too. That can get a little bit more physical, a
that
little more
is true, and
demanding.
that they know you. They know you better. Whereas the Chargers could probably know less about the Bills than any other team. It's a very
Yeah.
team that don't match up too often. But yeah, no. So I think the Bills are just going to get that one and head to Jacksonville
Yeah.
in the championship game.
Yeah, and this one isn't very up in the air. I mean, this could go either way. Um, like again, I do think the Jags have a better team overall, but again, I mean, it's hard not to look at the Bills um team and say like, man, I feel like Allen is just lights out this year. And I think they could easily make it, but I think the Jags secondary specifically is going to cause some problems for Allen, and it will be probably the edge they need to get it done. But it could once again go either way. It's like a 51-49 split there.
Very close. I would even say it's a coin toss,
Yeah.
which is not what us Bills like to hear in
No.
playoff games. But so no, but it's close. It's close. But there's a reason that this Jags team is the 1 seed. It's just an amazing team. That defense, especially, love the defense. And Trevor Lawrence has been pretty good. He's definitely stepped up and become the quarterback the Jags have needed. And it's really hard to not bet on Josh Allen in any game. But it's less of me not betting on Allen and more me betting on just the sheer talent the Jags have. I think they have more talent on defense, and I would say even offensively. I know Bills have Shakir and all that, and Josh, hot take, is better than Trevor Lawrence. But
What? No way.
crazy, but just too much of a talent difference. I like the Jags done in the trenches. I think they'll be solid, and I think it'll be a close game. I think if it comes down to this, it'll be a very close game. I think the Jags are the only team that could stop the Bills, and I think they will, and they will go to the Super Bowl to represent the AFC. But I will take us away with the NFC and introduce you to our first matchup with the Cowboys heading into Lumen Field, heading up right on up to Washington to take on the Seattle Seahawks. And I think this will be probably the game I'm most confident in betting on. I think the Seattle Seahawks will demolish the Dallas Cowboys. I have no trust in this Cowboys team. I think they are happy to be here, quite simply. And I just think it's just going to be a massacre. Actually, the Seahawks have so much talent. If Bijan there, I mean, we could. And the Cowboys don't. They don't. They don't. And they're a solid football team. They're a playoff football team. That being said, I just don't see a way they're getting out of the wild card. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. No. I mean, I agree, obviously, but yeah, I mean, I just think this defense still is not where it needs to be, the Cowboys that is, to
Mm-hmm.
even just contend with what the offense for the Seahawks are going to be with uh, JSN and Bijan. I feel like they just don't have the players able to keep up. Honestly, I think they're going to struggle. Offensively, they can maybe go. They can maybe get into a little shootout possibly. If they that's kind of what they want this game to be probably because they have the weapons. But I just don't know if they're. I think the Seahawks defense is also pretty good still, and I think they can do enough to give their offense some opportunities to take leads. So yeah, it's going to be a really really tough game for I think for the Cowboys, but you never know. It could always go a completely different way, but I think the Seahawks are just a much better team right now.
Absolutely. All right. Well, moving on to the next game, your beloved Dallas Renegades taking on the Green Bay Packers here, hosting them. And I think this will be closer, at least in our minds, than last year's game. I think the Dallas Renegades are a very solid team. They've assembled something pretty nice here, and I would expect this to be a good football. That being said, still just year two in this rebuild. I think the Packers have a little more talent, and I'm gonna go with Jordan Love and Green Bay to take down the Renegades. But I think this could definitely swing, and we could see the Renegades at home getting the first playoff win in UFD history. What do you think?
Man, I mean, I wish that would be the case, but I think you have more confidence in this game being closer than I do. I've seen what the Packers do to the UFD. Their offense specifically can really just tear the defense apart, and I think Jordan Love, especially against his pass defense, is going to have a field day. And I just don't know if Kyler and Kenneth can keep it up with them. I really don't. Like, I love the Renegades defensive front. I love their aggressive play and the big plays that they try to force, and I love that. But I do think they're gonna struggle against the quarterback like Love and with the weapons that he has. And they have some good defensive pieces. I don't think they're perfect defensively by any means. I think they're beatable, but you still have some really good weapons like Xavier McKinney. In the secondary, you still have Edgerrin Cooper at the Mike spot, and then their D line is pretty good, led by Micah Parsons. So, I mean, I think if the Renegades win this game, they're gonna have to make those big plays that they love to rely on, and control the clock. But I just don't think it's gonna be as close as you think it is. But I would love to see it be close. I don't think it's gonna be.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, let's finish this one off, this wild card slate, with Detroit hosting the New York Football Giants, my former team, my former, sorry, not former team,
Homo.
uh, my former team, and I have the Giants winning. I have the Giants winning. This will also be, I think, a fun game, but the Giants have been really good this season, and I also got to witness them beat me down. I think it was week 17, 41-10. Yes, it was, and yeah, we got slapped. So go Giants, go beat Detroit, and but yeah, I think this will be a close game as well. I like that Giants defense a little more than the Detroit defense. Um, and the offenses are pretty comparable, and I think the Giants might even have a slightly better one. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think this one's probably gonna be the closest one in the wild card for the NFC. Obviously, I think
Mm-hmm.
but like you said, both have pretty good offenses. Obviously, some really good weapons. You see, obviously Gibbs and Amon Ra and Laporta against the Giants, who have Carnell Tate and Malik Neighbors and Cam
Yeah.
Skattebo. Some really just great trio of weapons for each team. But yeah, like you said, I think the Giants' defense is better. The Lions have some good defensive players for sure, but I do think that they are weaker there, and I think if it gets into a shootout spot, it's. I think the Giants are happier in that realm
Mm-hmm.
than the Lions would be. I think the Lions want this to be a little bit more of a slower, slower game with field flipping and ball control specifically. But I think this one could be close. I think the Lions could end up winning this one. I wouldn't be surprised, but I do think the Giants move on as well. I also realize I did not pick my playoff thing, so you're welcome. That it's okay.
Your playoff thing? What do you mean?
I have your picture up, not mine.
Oh, that's funny. Well, moving on to the divisional. Let's start with Green Bay and taking on the Eagles. I think this will be a fun game. But I do think the one-seeded Eagles are surprisingly, surprise, a good football team. So I think, but I think they'll handle this year and take down a six-seeded Packers team that I think could have the juice to take a run. I think it's a fun ball club there, but yeah, I just think the Philadelphia Eagles have a lot of talent on that roster, and their window's been wide open. You know, last year it's been open for many a year, thanks to Sirianni and their whole crew there. But what do you think about this?
Yeah, I think this is I think similar to like the Bills. I would say kind of a big year for them. I think there's a lot of their talent getting older or going to be leaving in free agency just because money is running out. Um, and I think this is just a really, I mean, this is maybe the best roster of talent. I mean, even we talked about the draft last year. We were like, this team has no real holes. Like, sure, you could upgrade at safety or I forget linebacker or something or guard or something. We said, but like they don't really have any bad players at any starting position at all. They have players that are at least good at every spot. Um, and I just can't say the same about the Packers. I think the Packers do have some weaknesses on their team in their starting lineup. So, yeah, I think the Eagles are just a better team overall. They have so many great players, and I think they handle business at home as well.
Okay. Well, we round out the divisional with Seahawks Giants. Now I'm going to pencil this in as game of the week. I think this will be a fun game though. I like this matchup a lot actually. But I genuinely don't think I know the Eagles have a lot of talent. Seahawks have a lot of talent. Like this, it's ridiculous. I just am gonna have to tilt Seattle here, but I think the Giants are also, of course, with that insane wide receiver duo of Tate and Neighbors, would be a crazy spectacle there. But I like Seattle's just all around roster a lot, like their secondary. I like just everything with their linebackers, and the Giants have good players at those positions, but just I don't think it's comparable to what Seattle has built here, and I think they're going to go on to face the one seed in the championship. But what do you think about
it? Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think these two teams are really some of the best rosters in the league, but I do think that the Seahawks have the slight edge there. I think when it comes down to it, I think they're just more battle tested in the playoffs too. The Giants are more of a fresh team into this playoff picture here, and they're still very young and still developing. I think they can definitely be a deep runner for years to come, but I think this year they fall short in the divisional to a team that is currently in their Super Bowl window and prime. Really just trying to get another one here and maybe become a dynasty if they win this one.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's. I don't think it's controversial to say like, oh, the team that won the Super Bowl and got Bijan Robinson is going to be a good football team.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like wow,
and they still added great players. Like you look at the rookies, Najee Hendricks, the corner who slots in as their corner too. They also had second-year player Jake Golday, who we were maybe skeptical of at the Sam linebacker spot, but he is their best linebacker. He is one of their best players on their team. They've drafted extremely well. They've signed players really well, and they've continued to just be really competitive.
A super deep football team, and that leads us to the NFC Championship: Eagles, Seahawks. That's going to be, I think, a really fun championship if this occurs.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it would be the same. It would be the game of the week, though. But yeah, I flipped on this one a lot. I did not know where I wanted to go with this, but just had to go with Seattle. I had to go Seattle because I think this just, you know, it's definitely the tightest one for me in
Yeah.
this whole bracket. But I have a feeling about Seattle here, that everything's in the cards and that they're gonna make their way to the Super Bowl, and yeah, and they're gonna have a fun one there. But what do you think?
Yeah, I
This matchup.
agree. I mean, I think this is a coin flip game here, really. Um, Eagles obviously super talented, Seahawks super talented. I think both teams could easily come away with a win here, but I think the Seahawks, I don't know, it's more of a feeling than anything, more of a gut feeling that I think the Seahawks get it done in the NFC Championship.
Very well.
Very well.
Okay, very well, very well. All right, the Super Bowl. Do you
Yeah. So Super
you want to
Bowl,
break
yeah.
this?
So it's interesting. So obviously you have the Jags who lost in the Super Bowl last year, and then the Seahawks who won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So two teams that are familiar with being here at this point now, in at least recent years. Um, Jags obviously still searching for their first Super Bowl win. Seahawks looking to get their second win in 3 seasons to potentially continue and maybe be one of those very few teams that we can say have had a dynasty, because it's hard to do. It's hard to do in football, to have a dynasty. There's been maybe 5 or 6 in the entirety of the NFL history. So Seahawks may be looking to do that now while their window is still open. Um, it's gonna be a fun one if this is how it goes, because I do think, again, two very good teams. I think maybe the two best secondaries in the NFL going head to head in this instance. Um, and yeah, I mean, this one is awesome. This would be an awesome game. But I do think, again, the Seahawks have a better roster, so that's why I kind of agree with the idea of them winning if they're there against the Jags.
Absolutely. Oh, sorry. Yes. No. Yes. Me agree. Me agree. Seattle wins Super Bowl. Yeah. No. Jaguars. I know you haven't won a Super Bowl in your franchise history, but it's time to become bridesmaids. Welcome to the hell of the Buffalo Bills. You are losing a Super Bowl to the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. I think this would be it'd be a fun, very fun Super Bowl, but I don't know how I don't I see more paths of winning for the Seahawks than I do for the Jaguars. Like I
Yeah.
think there's just more game scripts that see Seattle taking a win here than the Jaguars. Yeah, I just think this is a tough NFC, and it'd be hard. Even the Eagles, it'd be hard to pick the Jags over the Eagles.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but Seattle, I think Seattle's the best team in the league, and they're gonna prove it, yeah, on in the Super Bowl. But let's see how all that plays out.
Yeah. There we go. And I mean, it is very odd how we both chose the exact same layout here of the playoffs, because that is not what happened last year. And we are going to be wrong. There's going to be something that's not right in this bracket. It's bound to happen. Like we know it's going to happen because it always does. But with that being said, it's time to get into the playoffs here, and we can actually finally go into a game here and see how it goes for the Renegades. So I
Let's
will
do it.
say, in terms of overall, the Packers are only one overall higher, which is actually kind of shocking to me. Um, just based on talent, I felt like the Packers have better talent overall, but not by much, I guess. But we are here in Dallas, in Toyota Stadium, so this is home field advantage. Obviously, this Dallas this Dallas crowd, they obviously know about, at least the grandparents know about playoff success and Super Bowls, right? They haven't seen it from the Cowboys in 3 decades or so, and they're hoping that the Renegades can be the next the next coming here. Which I mean, hey, I will say though, it's a good time to be a Dallas fan or a Dallas native, I guess, because you got both of your teams in the NFL here in the playoffs. So
Yeah, maybe
that's a
the
fun story.
induction of the Renegades, or maybe putting a bit of a fire under the Cowboys to
Yeah, I,
be
I
like,
think
wow, we've got to get this going.
I think that's fair. Jerry Jones is probably threatened a little bit, but let's see how it goes here. Packers start off. Matthew Golden getting a play here, 9 yards for, oh my goodness, just 3 plays, quick Christian Watson 48-yard touchdown. And that is the thing I was worried about, was that just quick ability to score for this Packers offense. And let's see what the Renegades can do. It's a drop for Leggett, and that's going to be an interception. Rasul Douglas going the other way, down to the 21. That's brutal. There's a sack, Ruka Row, incomplete pass there. And then they go backwards again, another sack, Ruka Row. They get a field goal, so we avoid going down 14-0, but a brutal start in the first 4 minutes of the game. There's a 10-yard run for Kenneth Walker, penalty there, and 6 yards for Stribling. Gets 6 yards for Walker, 8 yards for Walker, go backwards on a loss of 2, and then incomplete pass. And we go backwards, sack on 4th down. We went for it, tried to be confident there in our ability to pick up the first. We just couldn't. Devontae Wyatt with the sack, incomplete pass. 3rd down and 7 here. It's huge first down there for Christian Watson. And they're getting everything going for them right now, and they're going to score again. Savion Williams with an 11-yarder. It's 17-0 in the first quarter. Got to see the Renegades put up better performance here. And then there's a sack. Rashawn Gary, free agent potentially coming up here. And there's a punt. And there's a sack, Chris Braswell. And this pass rush is going to have to be the reason that they succeed today. And there's a 3-and-out finally. We'll see. They're not a great punt, but man, I mean, the Packers pass rush has been equally as good today. There's a 3rd and 17, and it's just not enough, man. It's just not enough. This offense is not doing enough here to keep up with the Packers, and they're moving here. There's a loss of 3. 3rd and 6, big 3rd down here, and we stop them again here. So, I mean, the defense is doing their job, but that's a great punt down to the 1 for Rigoberto Sanchez. Good run out of the end zone there. Got to get the run game going at least. There's Kenneth Walker just churning yards out here. Loss of 2 for Kendre. There's a 1st down for Leggett. Oh, man. Sack, Rashawn Gary. That's like 5 sacks on Kyler already. There's another one, Micah Parsons. And, yeah, 3rd and 25. It's impossible almost to convert those. And that's another 3-and-out. I mean, our defense is doing the job right now that they need to, but the offense is just not able to get anything. There's a 4th and 1, 2-minute warning here. I've pressed A 4 times and it hasn't even advanced the play. We have to punt, and they're already in field goal range after 12-yard play there. And they go backwards on a sack. Ruka Robo is having the game of his life right now, and they still kick a field goal before halftime. So 20-0. Dallas gets the ball here. They need to really pick up the ball here in the second half, offensively specifically. Their defense, I know 20 points, you might say that's a lot in the first half, but if you're watching the game, you know that the Dallas defense has done their job more than not. And we're starting to see maybe a drive here. There's another sack for Rashawn Gary. 3rd and 16, and that's a huge first down there. Tez Johnson, 1st and goal. There's a touchdown finally. Needed that. That is the type of drive you need to start off when you're down by that much. But then there's a huge pass, Matthew Golden, 27 yards. And that's the type of plays that I was worried about here. 3rd and 7, and again, I mean, these just long pass plays from the Packers are killer. And 3rd and 9, we hold them to a 4th and 2. They go for it and they get it. That's brutal, and they score, making that touchdown null and void. But they tried to go for 2 and didn't get it, so at least we go positive there. But there's another sack, Micah Parsons there. 3rd and 14, we go backwards, another sack. I mean, these tackles are not doing a good job today. And there's 25 yards for Savion Williams into the 4th quarter, and this one's looking grim here as they put up more points here. It's 26-point game here, and already starting with another sack. And another sack. Oh my goodness. Micah Parsons is going to end with like 8 sacks here today. They go for it. Yeah, this game is over. There is no chance to win this one here. We're just going to get out of here. And this is what I expected. I think you were a little bit more fond of the idea of this being close.
Yeah, well.
I knew this was going to be an ugly game. And it was exactly that. And I mean, I'm not exactly thrilled, obviously, but I'm not surprised. You know, this team is still rebuilding. Jordan Love was awesome. Kyler wasn't. Kenneth Walker was good, honestly, and I mean they ran it well when they ran it. Had some decent enough play from league at least. That's about it. They had some really solid receiving games, but Tommy Myers, the rookie left tackle, had a really rough day. I mean, these young guys, really, all the young guys, 6 sacks there, 3 for Ian Otshore, 3 for Emory Jones. That's just, you can't win football games like that. Yeah, 4 for Rashawn Gary and Micah Parsons, 2.5 for Devontae Wyatt. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much over there. And then you threw 2 picks, one of them to Katan Oladapo, who, yeah, that's a problem. But not much to say with that one. That was just a really ugly game. And, well, the Linsanity run is over, but contract extended. Tony Baloney, another 3 years. There we go. Still very happy with the season we got out of Dallas here. And we're really excited to get into the offseason and improve this team further to be able to compete with a team like the Packers. But let's go ahead and go to the divisional here and see who made it further. So we are already wrong in our division. Oh my goodness, some big upsets here. I'll start on the AFC side.
Wow.
Chargers, 38-27 victory, held to the Bills to 6 points in 3 quarters. Josh Allen tried his heart out, 21 points in the fourth, but it wasn't enough. Jesus. Chargers absolutely dominated. Maybe we slept on them too much. And I mean, Allen didn't play horrible, but other than the 2 picks, Herbert was so precise. Great game from him. Rushing, nothing super crazy, but both had some solid games. Ladd McConkey, Brad Kelly, and Quentin Johnson all had great games. Shakir and Kincaid tried. Darnell Mooney with a touchdown too. Wasn't enough. And Terrell Bernard getting 16 tackles in that one. A handful of sacks for a bunch of guys there. And the Bills had 2 picks, but they still couldn't get it done. Cole Bishop, Christian Benford. But yeah, I mean, our brackets are already completely messed up with this one. And Bills, I think they're going to be really needing a good offseason here to be back in the playoffs, at least contending for a Super Bowl if they want to push further this year. But we were right about this one. Maybe not the exact score that we expected. I didn't think it was going to be a defensive game, but it was. Chiefs win 17-13 in a close one. But yeah, Mahomes was just better. Baker Mayfield did not have a good game. Threw a pick, 150 yards, a touchdown, 48 completion percentage, just not good. And also, I mean, the Raiders' run game was great. They were really good, but, the Chiefs weren't, but it didn't matter because Baker stunk. Noah Gray, 10 for 107 yards. It's the best receiving option today, apparently. Yeah, I mean, Max Crosby had a great game, but Carlos Hatchett, the rookie corner, got an interception. When it comes down to it, Chiefs just had the better quarterback. I think that's what it came down to. And then we also were wrong with this one. Ravens in a close one. We expected this one was going to be close, but Ravens get the edge here with 2-point victory over the Patriots, and there's 5 sacks on Drake May, proving to probably be the reason why. Both quarterbacks pretty solid games, nothing super outstanding. Both run games very solid as well. But yeah, you look at the sacks, and yeah, Mike Onwenu and Theo Benedict, I guess, and Coleman Shelton giving up sacks. Not ideal. It was a group effort there to get the quarterback to the ground, and that was the big difference, really. Both teams had very similar offensive performance. It was just those 5 sacks to 1. That was the big difference there. And our AFC bracket is completely messed up, so we will see the 7-seed Chargers going to Jacksonville to take on the 1-seed Jacksonville Jaguars, and we'll see another matchup that's also iconic for the 2010s and late, more just the 2020s, I should say. Chiefs, Ravens, Mahomes, Lamar. How about the NFC side, Voodoo?
Oh, well, it doesn't get much better if you're expecting accurate, sharp predictions I'm heartbroken by this one. Firstly,
Tragic.
Seattle losing in the wild card. What
Wow.
the hell? I was so certain. Dallas puts up 16 in the fourth and stuns Seattle, sending them out of the playoffs in the first round. No, this is heartbreaking. I just want to see the winners win, but the Dallas Cowboys are better than the Dallas. They're like, man, we need to really show who's the better Dallas team right now, and
Yeah, I
they
guess so.
miraculously win a football game
You're
in the
talking about
playoffs in the
you're
wild card.
talking about the fire under their ass in the beginning of my
I
game.
Yeah,
There you go.
and I mean it was a close game, but that's
Oh,
just
absolutely.
16 points in the fourth quarter, insane comeback. And yeah, no, it was just wild. So Dak Prescott, Sam Darnold, very similar games, but Dak was just a bit sharper on his completions and getting through his progressions. Took an extra sack, but ultimately evened out. Bijan had a solid game, 18-70. But Jaw Downs actually for his rookie performance, and Javonte Williams changed the pace with 18 yards and a touchdown. Receiving wise, Jalen McMillan had a nice day for the Seahawks. CD Lamb, 2 touchdowns for the Cowboys en route to this victory. Javonte Williams got involved in the receiving game for the Cowboys as well, 39 yards down there. Yeah, they were just finding ways to move the ball, and 11 tackles leading the way for Isaiah Palamau for the Dallas Cowboys. Tyrese Knights, Osa Odigas,
Also,
cannot
Digazula.
say names. There you go. You're just gonna say all the difficult names because I apparently can't.
There you
But
go.
yeah, a few TFLs across the board there. DeMarvion over sack, Leonard Williams, Uchenna Nwosu with the 2 sacks from Seattle. Not much else. Yeah, it really just seemed like there's a forced fumble, not recovered, and that was it. But yeah, no, it was just it just came down to Dak Prescott waking up and deciding he wasn't done yet. I mean, he's aging, and this might be one of his last opportunities to make a run. So crazy upset,
Yeah.
crazy upset.
Yeah.
And how about them Cowboys? They're going to go to
There you go.
take on Philadelphia, their division rival,
Yeah.
7 seed, 1 seed matchup. And I mean, do we need to recap your game? It was
No,
pretty
no,
rough.
no.
It
I
just
will
didn't.
say though, for that Cowboys matchup, if you're the Cowboys, that is who you want to see. You want to see the Eagles because there's that
True.
divisional. You never know. Divisional matchups are always an extra little bit different. You know, with the familiarity,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. You could be 10 times better than your opponent, and you could lose because they just know you better and they're matched up better. So if you're Dallas, this is exactly who you want to see. But no, we don't need to talk about our game, the game, my game. We saw what
Yeah,
happened. Packers
it
dominated.
was it was a football game. All right, now we can lastly move on to Detroit and New York, where yet again we were incorrect.
Yes,
Detroit, it was a close game, but just
underrated.
Detroit found a way to
Yeah,
win.
we
Found
did
a way to win.
we did think they were going to be close. To be fair, but
True.
picked the wrong team.
Picked the wrong team, and they came down to the wire, 28-26, bunch of scoring throughout all the quarters. But yeah, Detroit was just consistent, a touchdown every quarter. It was able to just get it done, and the Giants had more yardage, but they had a turnover, which likely was a brutal coster of this game here. Wasn't an interception. Both quarterbacks were clean today, no picks. For either Goff, 255, 3 touchdowns, 69 completion percentage. Jackson Dart, 282, 2 touchdowns, 65 completion percentage. But he took 6 sacks. He was getting buried all day. That's probably a big thing. That offensive line was just not helping him against the Lions pass rush. Moving on to the running game, Giants did have a really good run game today. Bucky Irving, 18 for 86, 4.8 a carry and a touchdown, but a fumble. Big fumble there. And I think that was the one that was recovered for the turnover, I assume. Jahmyr Gibbs, 14 carries, 46 yards with a 3-yard average, 3.3 yard average. Montgomery punched in a touchdown. So just all around a balanced game from those running backs. Malik Neighbors tried his best, 7 catches, 114 yards, and Carson Tate, 6 catches, 97 yards. 200 total yards between those did not matter. Jahmyr Gibbs went crazy in the 4 catches, 92 yards, and a touchdown. Amon with 50 touchdowns. Also, Theo Johnson had 2 touchdowns. So there you go. Going on the tackles in the defensive side, Deonte Banks led New York with 10, which is not great to see. And your corners leading. Actually, we should also check the blocking real quick because I'm curious. Yeah, the guard, Isaac Seumalo. Jesus, man, I'm butchering names today, but lets up 3 sacks, which is crazy.
Former
from
Renegade.
a guard. Former Renegade. There you go. Love to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but yeah, 10 tackles for Banks, 3 TFLs for Abdul Carter, a couple other spread across, 2.5 sacks for Tyleek Williams, 1.5 for Lee McNeil. They were feasting on that weak interior line. Travis Jones with a sack, Aiden Hutchinson and Bryce Huff also had sacks. Yeah, Detroit was just all over them, and it was smothering. Harry and Arnold forced the big fumble and recovered it off of the back of a Bucky Irving fumble, and that likely cost them the sacks, the turnover. Giants still fought, but they just couldn't get out of their own way, fumbling the football, the offensive line crumbling, and Detroit moves on to host Green Bay, their second home game here as the 4 seed. So, are we ready to advance, or is there anything else?
I don't believe so. I guess real quick, we'll take a second to jot down a couple stories on the side here for the draft, and then we'll be back. Alrighty, so the championship games are set, and in the grand scheme of things, we still got a lot right here. We still got 3 of 4. Starting on the AFC side, it was a close one though. It was a 1-score game. The Chargers were down though, 24-3 into the fourth quarter. They tried fighting back, but it was not enough. Jags were the better team. And they had the time of possession on their side. They had the turnover on their side. They had more yards. Lawrence was the way better quarterback. He was super, super safe. And this is what we've seen out of Lawrence, and this is why they are here. He's been able to, put up good numbers, but also just be safe with the football. It took 3 sacks, but he saw Herbert only take 1, and he threw a pick and did not play very well otherwise. Rushing, the Jags had a better rush game too. Travis Etienne had a really good game. Omarion Hampton had 2 touchdowns, but not as efficient of a running game there. Travis Hunter had a nice game for the Jags. Saw Emeka Egbuka in there. Brian Thomas had a touchdown as well for the Jags. There's a couple sacks given up. Quincy Williams for the Chargers led for their tackles there. 2 TFLs for Jalen Phillips, Josh Hines-Allen. A handful of sacks there, including Caden McDonald for the Chargers. And the pick from Olakun for the Jags. And 2 deflections only from the Jags. Those DBs are very good, as we talked about. But yeah, when it came down to it, the Jags just were the better team. And this is a roundabout way to get here, but we expected it. And the same exact score for the Chiefs and Ravens game, and almost the same exact type of game too. Going into the fourth quarter, Chiefs were up 21-3. Ravens try to fight back with 13 points in the fourth quarter. Chiefs put up another 3, and they held off. Although the yardage was very similar, only 6 yards difference there. No turnovers in this one. And Ravens had the time of possession, but Mahomes, they were both solid, both quarterbacks, but Mahomes threw 3 touchdowns. Both sacked decent amounts there. But, wow, Ravens run game, Nicholas Singleton. We might be wrong about them drafting a running back in the first round, because Nicholas Singleton had an incredible game. 200, almost 120 yards and 2 touchdowns there. Obviously not enough to win, but they were the big reason why they were close. Stroud Smith had a decent game there, and Xavier Worthy and Rasheed Rice were both crazy. It's never a good sign when LeJohntay Wester is your leading receiver for the Ravens. Yeah, I just don't think they had the weapons to compete through the air, at least. And sorry, I was just holding in some burps there, but Ben Burke with 3 TFLs. Saw 2 sacks from Nick Bolton and Nnamdi Madubuike. And yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, it was just a better game for the Chiefs early, and it was too much for the Ravens to come back from. And we will see Chiefs, Jags in. Actually, sorry, we were only right about 2 things, but the Chiefs made the championship in place of the Bills in this instance. But they, I think this is an interesting matchup for sure. I could see it going either way. I do think the Chiefs are well suited to maybe beat the Jags, but I still think the Jags can pull off the win. But let's talk about the NFC side.
NFC. There we go. Here we go. So Philadelphia is going to the championship. They take down Dallas. Fun story for them. I mean, it's honestly surprising. They put up a fight. It was 21-31. The Eagles were just able to score more and stay ahead. I mean, obviously, they scored more and they won the game. So, no, but just more consistent throughout the quarters. Dallas put up 14 in the second, 7 in the fourth, but Philly was scoring a touchdown every quarter, and they just couldn't keep up. Eagles actually had a turnover in this game, and the Cowboys won time of possession, so it's going to be interesting. Of course, the Eagles also had more yardage, both rushing and passing. Jalen Hurts 262, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, but 80 completion percentage. Dak Prescott was cleaner, no picks, but he was sacked 3 times, 57 completion percentage on 219 yards. Yeah, not too great there. Rushing wise, Saquon Barkley was the only running back to do just about anything today, 69 yards and a touchdown. I think this is also a big contributor as jaw downs for the Cowboys. Did not have a great day. 2 yards a carry on 14 attempts. Had a touchdown, but Jalen Hurts had just about the same day efficiency wise with the touchdown as well. Receiving wise, Devontae Smith put on a masterclass, 126 on 5 catches and 2 touchdowns. I mean, incredible. Juju Smith-Schuster tried showing out for the Cowboys, the 10-year veteran, couldn't get it done. There's a few other pass catchers sprinkled in there, but ultimately for not. And the center for the Cowboys, Seth McCollum, giving up 2 sacks isn't great, and it's also not great when I don't recognize the player at all.
I do, because he was the starting center for the Renegades last season. So that's 2
now.
Oh,
wow.
Two former Renegades offensive linemen giving up the most sacks in games for other teams.
There you go. On the losing team in the playoffs. There you go. Quinn Mitchell leads with tackles here for the Eagles. Joey Bosa and Zach Bond with 2 TFLs. Joey Bosa and Jalen Carter, 1.5 sacks each. Feasting on Dak Prescott. Quinton Williams with a sack in response. The lone pick, Josh Springs, the rookie. Good for him, and he's obviously going to be a star. Andrew Makuba, 3 deflections. Not much else I think really to talk about. Oh no, there is. That 1 pick was a pick 6 for the Cowboys. Wow. There you go. Josh Springs had a pick 6 on Hurts.
Yeah, that's huge.
Puts into perspective, I think, just how bad the offense was for Dallas today. They only put up 14 points. So, yeah, but ultimately they fall. And next and last but not least in our divisional matchups, Green Bay upsetting Detroit here on the road, 35-30. Crazy game here. Plenty of offense. Detroit actually had quite a few more yards, 70-ish more yards than Green Bay. We're just the better team running and passing it, but they had a single turnover. So Matt likely is a big contributor to this. And they also dominated time. Just a weird game. We're going to have to get into this one. Jordan Love was very efficient, 80 completion percentage, 284, 2 touchdowns. Super clean game from him. Jared Goff, 300 yards, 1 touchdown, but he had a pick, 68 completion percentage, and he was sacked twice compared to Love being sacked once. So just a few more negative plays there compared to Jordan Love just being super safe. And the Detroit had a better run game. Jacobs did lead with 72 yards today and 3 touchdowns. But Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery looked great. 63 for Gibbs and a touchdown, 37 for Montgomery and 2 touchdowns. So yeah, that running back duo was doing great today. We also saw 2 handoffs for Mike Washington, the GOAT. Christian Watson and Matthew Golden with that's almost 250 combined yards for these 2 receivers. Incredible. James Williams, Isaac Tesla had good games along with Amon-Ra and Gibbs. They just had a more well spread out passing attack, but yeah, with Christian Watson, Matthew Golden did very well. Sacks wise, Monroe Freeling, the left tackle, for the Lions, which is not good. Edgerrin Cooper, 12 tackles. A bunch of TFLs spread across the board, 1.5 sacks for one for McNeil and a half a sack for Sewell Douglas. And Edgerrin Cooper also had the lone interception this game. Was it for a touchdown? No. There was a forced fumble, but no recoveries. And that was about it. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a shootout that Green Bay walks out of victorious. So we will see a Packers-Eagles championship matchup on the NFC side. So one more simulation, and we will see the Super Bowl.
There you go. And I think, I think we might still be able to be somewhat right to a certain extent. We'll see. And we are right about it was still 1 seeds, very predictable in that regard, but Jaguars handle business, 15-point victory over the Chiefs, 28-13. Wow. They dominated over 100 and about 170 yards, more yardage there. Had no turnovers. They took one from Kansas City. They dominated time of possession, had 15 more minutes. They even brought Cole Payton in. I don't know if Trevor was hurt. He might have gotten hurt, but honestly, QB play wasn't even a problem for the the Chiefs. Mahomes, he didn't complete a lot of passes. He completed less than half his passes, was sacked 4 times, only threw 1 touchdown. But the Jags, I mean, they didn't do a lot with the passing game, but they were very efficient, and that's all that mattered. Sacked twice. The rushing game was insane. Bryshel Tootin, 90 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown. Achane, 78 yards on 18 and a touchdown. Did fumble once, but didn't go to the Chiefs. Trevor Lawrence also ran 2 touchdowns in on 6 carries, 29 yards. The Chiefs had no rushing game really at all. Jordan Hudson must be receiver 3 for the Chiefs. Got a touchdown and 74 yards. And not a ton of passing in this game. Josh Simmons gave up 2 sacks for the Chiefs. Leo Chenal and Shamari Connor both with 10 tackles. Handful of TFLs around there. Josh Hines-Allen with 2 sacks. And a handful of sacks for other guys there. No picks, obviously. And then Devin Lloyd was the successful forced fumble and recovery. Shamari Connor forced it, but did not recover it from HN. And then Ben Burke also had a block in this game. He tried his heart out, but didn't matter. Jaguars were just much better, a much better team, and they move on to the Super Bowl for the 2nd year in a row.
So something to note: Trevor Lawrence fractured his forearm, so he's not playing in the Super Bowl.
So that is why Cole
Payton. IR.
That's why Cole Payton came in.
Brutal.
So Cole Payton is gonna have to lead this team to a Super Bowl win if they want it. Wow, that's something.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. But moving to the NFC side, where the Philadelphia Eagles win a 2-point game here and go on to the Super Bowl 27-25. They actually blew the doors off of the Packers yardage-wise. They were just the better team offensively by far. But they also had a turnover, which is going to even things out a bit. And, yeah, possession was dominated by Philly. Let's break this down. Jalen Hurts, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 227, 63 completion percentage, sacked 3 times. And, Jesus, Jordan Love, 110, 2 touchdowns, no picks, but sacked 7 times, 7 sacks, and 54 completion percentage. Yeah, he was just getting brutalized. Rushing, Saquon Barkley had a good day today, 18 carries, yards, 5-yard average, and a touchdown. Jacobs also had a good day, 5-yard average, 14 carries, 70 yards. Nothing else to really note. There was actually a fumble, which might have a Jordan Love fumble, but I think it was would have said it was a turnover. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, receiving, Devontae Smith, holy moly, 106 on 6 catches and 3 touchdowns. Also, Demario Douglas has a nice game with 71 yards. Jaden Reed with a touchdown and 50 yards. Touchdown. Blocking Luke Fortner, the center. He's dude. How is the center doing this? I don't know, but he was credited for loading up 4 sacks. There you go. The Philly line wasn't amazing either, but was certainly better than Bay with their 7 sacks given up. D'Angelo Pons leads the day with 10 tackles for the Eagles. Devontae Wyatt with 2 TFLs. Jalen Carter had 5 sacks. Yikes. Wow, that's 5 sacks in stupid. It's just stupid. Rashawn Gary with 2 sacks, Quay Walker with 1 sack, and sack for Zach Bond, and half a sack for 2 other guys there. 1 pick for Rasul Douglas, trying to give his team some life, but unfortunately, Luke Fortner did his best Bonnie Blue, and best Bonnie Blue impression, and everyone was let through. Everyone was invited. Couple of forced fumbles here, none recovered, and yeah, so there's also a safety. Rashawn Gary had a safety, but it didn't ultimately matter. Yeah, Green Bay tried their best. I was gonna say they tried their best defensively, but didn't really do that either. Weird game.
Yeah.
Weird game, and Philly wins it, so they are moving on to a 1-seed Super Bowl. Jags, Eagles.
The Nick Foles Bowl.
Not terribly far off of actually, as you said, what we had, because we had the Jags making the Super Bowl, and we had the Eagles in the championship,
and they were like,
and
that
they
was
make
a
the
50-50 game for us.
Right. So ultimately, doesn't. But of course, our wild card.
Yeah. No, our way to get there did not look too pretty. Yeah. But we ended up with reasonable predictions, for the for the Super Bowl. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at this Pro Bowl roster that is here. We'll just see if there's anyone for either of our teams on here. I have a sneaking suspicion we won't see many, if any, Stallions, but could be surprised. Patrick Ricard he's my guy. He's on the Renegades. Yeah, right. I forgot. Jeremy Bernard is receiver 2 in the Pro Bowl for the Battlehawks. He had a great season, so makes sense. See anyone else in here?
Quick note. Yeah. How did Deion Dawkins get in the? Didn't he give up like 22 sacks? How is he a Pro Bowler?
Well, see, he is. People like him. It's a Pro Bowl. It's a popularity vote.
The snowman, you're right.
But then you see Aaron Brewer, the Renegade center, as center 2 in there. Nick Scorton, edge 1. Nice, love to see that. Brian Brzee, D tackle 1 for the Renegades as well. CJ Allen gets Mike 1 for the Renegades. Savosha Dennis for the Battlehawks there. Will 1, of course.
There you go.
Corners. I don't think any of our guys. You do see Parker Kershaw, which is fun. You do see Justin Simmons as well, who was technically the backup free safety for the Battlehawks behind Kevin Byard, but he had more. I guess he got picks and was involved a lot. And like you said, yes, Kilgore for the Battlehawks. You also see Tyke Smith for the Renegades. Cam Smith, kicker for the Renegades as well.
Cam Smith? Charlie Smith. Whoa,
Charlie Smith. Smith. That's me. I'm Cam. Hi. Last name is not Smith, but yeah. Long snapper, I couldn't tell you, and then I have no idea what the return meant. But
Jordan Stout was snubbed from.
He
from
definitely was, absolutely. I mean, Michael Dixon's a great overall, but yeah, no, Jordan Stout should have been the Pro Bowl punter. But otherwise, no Kings. I'm not surprised with no Stallion. I mean, no, I don't know. I guess there's not really any Kings necessarily that I would have thrown in here, but only see Battlehawks and Renegades there. So there you go. But yeah, that injury to Trevor Lawrence is probably gonna make this game in the Super Bowl not a good one. But we'll see. Maybe
Imagine an amazing thing happens. Either it's gonna be super predictable, or the amazing thing's gonna happen. We'll see.
It's true. But let's go ahead and take a look at the yearly awards. And as we expected, Josh Allen MVP, deserved, because he was lights out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not where it mattered, but it was lights out. Yep. Any of our guys in here? No one yet. Coach of the Year goes to Liam Cohen, which fair enough. 1 seed, very good season for them. I'm surprised, honestly, that Tony Baloney's not in here, but I guess that's fine. I guess we'll just go quickly through the AFC first, real quick. Wow, Josh Allen and Khalil Shakir at the top there, but Allen wins Offensive Player of the Year, just stealing it away from Khalil Shakir.
Oh, Josh Allen also wins Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, wow, yeah, Josh Hines Allen, Defensive Player of the Year. There you go. 2 Jaguars at the top there. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Bryce Kilgore, the starter. Also 2 Steelers at the top. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Ben Burke. That's not super shocking. He was incredible. Josh Allen, best QB. He's just racking up rewards here. Jonathan Taylor, best running back. Receiver, Khalil Shakir. Best lineman, Harry Smith, I believe, is a rookie. That's a good one for the Titans there. Best D lineman, obviously Josh Hines Allen. Drew Tranquil, best linebacker for the Raiders. Derwin James, best DB for the Chargers. And best kicker is Jason Myers for the Browns. And the NFC side goes to Saquon. He had a great year. I'm surprised Bijan was better, and he's not in the Super Bowl. Where is Bijan? At 8.
At 8.
Wow,
yeah,
that's surprising. I don't know, maybe Saquon had a ton more receiving work, but I feel like, Bijan was just better. Barkley had more touchdowns, but it wasn't that much. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it has to be receiving, I'd have to assume.
I guess so. Jeremy Bernard at 4 is really, really good. He's going to be awesome for a while for the Battlehawks. And none of our guys otherwise. Defensive player of the year goes to Nick Scorton. Yeah. It makes sense.
3 Renegades up here, dude. Wow.
Yeah, him and Brian Brzee at 1 and 2, and then at 5 you get CJ Allen. Just what an incredible year from those 3. Just fucking brilliant stuff. There you go, offensive rookie of the year, Stallions, running back Jordan Brockers.
It doesn't make me feel good that number 3 is Kyle Day. I don't like that.
It was really Jordan Brockers' award to lose, honestly, because Jeremiah Baker was like the third option receiving for my Renegades. He was good, but he was never like the main target. And Kyle Day is
admittedly it was a weaker NFC.
It was
offensive rookie class here. You
even got Sam Paulson, the third the backup running back. Sam Paulson, the third.
I feel like there were a lot of like linemen taken for offensive.
Yeah, that's
sides for this division. And I'll take the award. Brockers was good. If on the team, he was great for like the team around him. But
that will help his development for sure. Once you get some more linemen, that's gonna be really good. And then defense rookie of the year, not amazing. Shocking. This guy was kind of guaranteed the award no matter where he went.
The Burke brothers.
Yeah.
They're not brothers, but
yeah, man.
Brothers from another mother.
Yeah, they were both getting defense rookie of the year, but Josh Burke, he's awesome. Great pick at 1 for the Kings. And then Eric Wright, he had a couple injuries. He was hurt in the back end, but he turned it on pretty well in the late game, and he shows up for the Renegades. Josh Garcia, he had some up and downs, but he was pretty good for the most part.
Yeah, he was solid.
5 for you. And then Dom Thorpe, who was a really good corner for me at 6 for the Renegades there. That's it. Best QB goes to Jalen Hurts. I will say, if your first name starts with a J, you are going to be a better quarterback in the league based on these top 4 here. Surprise, surprise, none of our guys are up here. Best running back goes to Saquon again. Renegades, Kenneth Walker at 8. Best receiver goes to Josh Downs. Jeremy Bernard at 2 for the Battlehawks. No other receivers. Best lineman goes to Tyler Booker for the Cowboys. You do get the rookie lineman right guard Tim Connor for the Seahawks. That's a fun one for them. Robert Hunt for the Battlehawks too. That was a good signing at 5. Stallions, Cole Strange.
That's our backup. Congrats, Cole Strange.
Tyler Cooper, the legend. What? 8th. Oh, he's so good.
Oh, no way.
I love when the backups get involved for no reason up here.
Oh man,
best D lineman.
That's going to the spank bank.
Yep, there you go. Nick Scorton at 1, Brian Brzee at 2. Not really shocking. Deserves best linebacker. CJ Allen deserved dethroned Servocia Dennis from his linebacker of the year award. Yeah, he's at 2 for the Battlehawks. Blake Cashman at 10. There you go. Your best linebacker on the team.
He also missed like a good chunk of time, and he was surprising. There you go.
There you go. Best DB goes to Renardo Green for the Niners. Renegades, Tyke Smith at 5. Damn, Parker Kershaw had a really good year for the Bears, looks like. Davison Igbinosun for the Kings. You talked really about solid. Him being there. Wasn't he your MVP pick, I believe? And
yes.
He's
really good.
Definitely taking a good step forward for that secondary. Best kicker goes to Charlie Smith, Cam Smith, either or for the Renegades. And I wish there was a best punter award. There's Chase McLaughlin, who I think we just were too hard on him. Obviously, he missed a lot of deep kicks, but he wasn't that bad.
He was solid. But like, man, yeah, the lows were low. That's all I'm gonna say. But he cleaned it up later in the season for sure.
He did, and you see Will Ferrin for the Battlehawks in there. But yeah, there should be a best punter award because that would be Jordan Stout, but not gonna be the case. But we'll be right back to sim the Super Bowl after we jot down these couple stories. All right, and we are back, and we are simming here the Super Bowl. Who is going to win it? I think it's going to be the Eagles just because Cole Payton is the starter for the Jags, but maybe we'll be surprised here. And Madden is doing their magic here. And the winner, oh my goodness, Cole Payton, Super Bowl MVP to win the Jags their first Super Bowl, 19-14 victory. We got to go see what the hell happened in this one. Oh my goodness. How? So Philly went out early, 7 points in the first quarter. Then Jacksonville put up 19 unanswered. Then the Eagles just couldn't put up more than 7 outside of the fourth quarter there. And then the Jags defense, the true MVPs, let's be real. Although 319 yards of offense for the Jags, had 10 more first downs. They even turned over the football once, but they had the time of possession. Jalen Hurts, not like horrific, but he just didn't do enough to elevate this offense here. Cole Payton, honestly, him being the MVP is shocking considering the stat line's not like crazy good or anything, but considering he's the backup quarterback, he came in and did the job. He did throw a pick, but otherwise he was pretty good. Travis Etienne had a good game. Tootin was involved. Saquon got shut down, 14 for 27 and 1 touchdown, 1.9 yards per carry. Cole Payton also did score a rushing touchdown, so I guess his 2 touchdowns definitely helped there. Antonio Williams was the leading receiver for the Jags. Devonta Smith was held to only 45 yards on 5 catches. He was their leading guy most of the year. Tommy Tremble got a touchdown. Only 2 sacks there. Jahad Campbell with 14 tackles total. Led the Eagles. Nathan Hyder, second-year D tackle, with 3 TFLs. Only half sack for Josh Hines Allen and Alfonso Velasco. And then the pick from Zach Bond. So, a handful of deflections. Yeah, it's crazy. And there was a safety. Oh, that was big too, actually. Safety from Josh Hines Allen. He kept that out of a field goal game. But, yeah, this was an odd Super Bowl, but a defensive one, and Cole Payton manages to get it done. That is crazy.
Yeah, Cole Payton. There you go.
Payton and the Jags. That's not what I expected.
It's Coach of the Year Liam Cohen, and Defensive Player of the Year Josh Hines Allen. It's hard to. I mean, that's a good team. We said it was a great team.
Yeah. I mean, and I think Cole Payton might have some offers in free agency or even for trade after him carrying the team to a Super Bowl win there.
What overall is he?
70. He's playing up to a 70. He's a 68 true overall.
Oh, wow. Wait, that makes me think, can Sam Howell win a Super Bowl? I wonder.
No, that makes you think.
He's 2 overall higher.
Trade Sam Howell for Cole Payton.
That could be the play. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, but I guess otherwise we can just quickly look. He does win Super Bowl MVP. Yeah, we already talked about those parts, but I guess we can look at the mock draft 4 real quick. Right now you're projected to take Andrew Cooks at 1. So it does seem like, okay. So that's interesting. Then Dolphins at 2 taking QB. They have me taking Alfonso Rhodes.
There you go.
I'm telling you, that is not happening. I know his talent. He's not getting drafted there. The Kings looking to take Rafael Estrada. I mean, I would say based on how this is falling, I think he still would fall to 6. So that would be, imagine him and Josh Burke on the D line. That would be insane.
That would be
a great pickup for them if he falls to them. Where else? Battlehawks taking Rashad Beasley at 16. I know they've been looking at quarterbacks. they're still in range to do that. Then they have me taking Zach Lacey at 19 as well. So there is that. And wow, Jags projected to take a quarterback who's a third to fourth round talent and Bernie Calhoun. They're like, man, our backup quarterback won a Super Bowl for us, but we need a better one. Okay, if they draft a quarterback, that would be stupid. But to end off, let's talk about the players that are going to be leaving the NFL. Specifically in the UFD for your battle. Your Stallions.
No, my Battlehawks. I'm the Battlehawks coach at this point.
Your
I'm apparently the St. Louis Battle. The Ballions.
The Ballions and the Stallyhawks. But yeah, your Stallions. Andre Dillard, who I believe was your backup left tackle, right? Or is he a starter?
He was not a starter.
Okay, that's for the best. And Rayshon Jenkins, who honestly was good for like the first 6 games and then peaced out.
Got injured.
Yeah.
Yep.
So not huge losses for you.
Yep. I'm gonna try to get Colton McKivitz back actually right now. I'm trying to get him back. Mm-hmm. He's been really stubborn. So I'm gonna try to get him back. I'm gonna overpay a little bit.
He probably doesn't want to play for a team that
he wants to play for a new team next year. Damn. Yeah, he wants to play for a new team. This O-line's gonna look
try Adam again in the free agency. Jamal Adams, the only retirement for the Kings. Kevin Byard retires for the Battlehawks. And then a bunch of retirements. I just signed Chidobe Awuzie to a new contract, and he retires on me. The Caleb McGarry, James Conner, Tyler Lockett, Jadeveon Clowney. None of them were coming back anyways, but all 5 of those guys retired. Chidobe Awuzie was the big one though, where he was actual impactful starter. So that one kind of sucks, but other than that,
corner in play now. It's corner.
I still have Dom Thorpe and Dax Hill. I think I don't need to draft a corner in the first, but looking across the league, biggest retirements, Sincere McCormick for the Vikings, Brian O'Neill, Jawan Bentley are big ones, Mike Gesicki, Sheldon Rankins, Deebo Samuel after 9 years, Kyle Juszczyk, the GOAT for the Seahawks, retires, Gus the Bus Edwards retires for the Raiders, Logan Wilson, Nick Folk, Evan Ingram, a running back that was just in the second. He was in the a real life rookie. Retired after 2 years from the Niners. That's the earliest I've seen. I think that's the earliest I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't think it's gotten earlier. Yeah,
I've seen 3, but 2 is a new record for me. Joel Bitonio, Joey Bosa for the Eagles retired. Tyreek Hill retires. Dak Prescott calls it quits. So the Cowboys going to be looking at quarterback probably too. See who else? Jason Myers, who just won Kicker of the Year. Jack Conklin. Deion Dawkins does call it quits for the Bills after a really bad year, but still got a Pro Bowl. And a bunch of free agents. So honestly, not like a ton of players, but there's some big names in there. Tony Pollard as well retires. Kendrick Bourne, Teddy Bridgewater, Nick Chubb. But yeah, I mean, some notable retirements, but in the grand scheme of things, nothing extremely crazy for us. But I will say there's gonna be some things mixed up there for some teams, especially like the Cowboys. I think losing Dak is going to be very interesting to see what they decide to do. But yeah, anything else you want to say, Voodoo, before we
it was another beautiful season, and year 3 is going to be fun. I mean, yeah, this is great, fun franchise so far. Yeah. Very glad we got this going.
I'm sure you're very excited to get into the free agency and the offseason as a whole.
I've been excited for the offseason since probably the first episode when I went 0-6. I've been pretty excited to get in the building.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for you, but I'm also excited for me. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fun to be had.
Yeah, can St. Louis not choke the division? Can Louisville Kings? They've been on an upward trend. Yeah, they've won more games this year. They might be upward.
Yeah. You know, can Birmingham make a team good again or ever? And then can the Renegades repeat a playoff appearance? And I mean, I'm excited to see how those things look. But with that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Take it easy.